The British House of Commons by a majority of votes forbade the government to bring the country out of the EU without any agreement. Now Britain is preparing to postpone the exit from the EU, which was to be held on March 29. At the same time, the deputies struck the government's Theresa May another defeat. The cabinet has proposed to exclude the possibility of release without an agreement on 29 March, but the House of Commons voted for an amendment that prohibits the release without an agreement ever. This important amendment adopted by a majority of just 4 votes, 312 versus 308. It is not mandatory for the government, but is very important in political terms, as an indicator of the freedom of parliament. Legally, the default probability is stored without the agreement, unless not reached some other agreement, said Theresa May after the vote. The Prime Minister said that now the Parliament has a choice, to approve twice rejected the option agreement on the output, to bring the case before the second referendum, which, according to May, will undermine the people's confidence in democratic institutions, or to come to an agreement with the EU on new terms. In the text of the resolution submitted by the government, said that the Parliament rejects the possibility of release on 29 March without an agreement, but also notes that, the possibility of withdrawing without an agreement, the default remains in effect if the House of Commons and the EU do not ratify any deal. The results of the vote on Wednesday was quite expected. The majority of deputies of the House of Commons, in particular, members of the government, believe that the precipitous withdrawal from the EU is too large risks for the economy. Shadow Minister for Brickset, MP Matthew Pankak, at the end of the debate on Wednesday, said that the potential damage from leaving the EU cannot be overestimated. The most resolute supporters of a break with the EU, however, prove that no catastrophe will only temporary difficulties, but then the British economy, freed from the pan-European tariff regulations, flourish. Thursday in the House of Commons is scheduled to vote on the question of postponement Brickset, namely, to approve the request to the government to ask the European Union on the postponement of the day of exit of Britain from 29 March to a later date. Many officials in the EU have repeatedly stated that they are ready to give Britain a reprieve, but would like to understand why exactly he needs it, that is, what new proposals the London to come to new talks. Until now, the position of London as it was formulated Theresa May is the withdrawal of Britain from the EU single market, to be able to restrict immigration from the European Union, the customs union, and exit from the jurisdiction of the Luxembourg European Court of Justice. In order to try to formulate a new position, some British MPs propose later, after delay, move to alternate vote in the House of Commons several options for future relations with the EU. Sources in the Conservative Party do not exclude that the government may, asking the EU about the delay, just again put up for vote all the same, twice rejected the draft agreement on the output. In this case, all is relatively simple. Britain will formally withdraw from the EU, but in fact almost everything will remain as before, since the agreement will be a transition period until the end of 2020. During this period, Britain was deprived of representation and voting rights in the EU authorities, but retains all other rights and obligations of a member of the European Union.